Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I live at the French Farmer in Mountain Village, Colorado. If you want to find out anything about me, you can do so on MySpace, where I have a very big page. This here is called The Coming of the American Underground Banks. This is something that may be in our future. We may not have, a lot of people may not have any choice because of what the Obama administration is trying to do. In their healthcare proposal, there is a provision in one of the bills, I don't know which one it is, it's hard to get information on what bill it's in, where they want access to everybody's bank account in America. And the reason why they want access to everyone's bank account, they want to find out what everybody can pay for this healthcare plan that won't take effect until after the next presidential election. And there's some that say it won't be implemented till then because of the fact that if it was implemented before then, President Obama couldn't get reelected, and neither could a lot of Democrats. But there's others who say it won't be implemented until then, and because they have to get the money together for that, and they have to cut, Medicare, and that's going to take a while to do, and then they have to tax everybody quite a bit to get that pool of money to pay for it all. Despite the fact that people have had their hours cut, we're in a very bad recession, and still these people have no qualm about raising taxes on us. I don't think Obama's going to be reelected anyway because he's just making everybody angry. And the new belief that he's like God and he's going to bring everybody together is just mythical. It's false. But anyway, if he's successful and somehow the courts let him do it, where he can get access to everybody's bank account, I think you're going to start seeing people pull the money out of their bank accounts. I don't think the millionaires will, but a lot of people will. And I think what will come afterwards is you'll see underground banks pop up. That is where a neighbor will keep money for another neighbor, and it's going to be kind of like a hush-hush thing, something that they don't talk about. And people, when they catch their work paycheck, they'll just go to the bank, whatever bank it is that will catch it for them for free. It's like the company I work for does banking with Bank of America. So I can go. So even if I don't have an account there, I can go to Bank of America and I can cash my check there, and it doesn't cost me anything. I can't go to another bank and cash it there, but I can at that bank. So that's basically what a lot of people would do. I think you'll see credit cards, people taking their credit cards and getting rid of a lot of them. And it's just going to be an attempt by probably millions of people to make it harder for the government to know, how much money they have, because it's such an intrusion. And to me, our founders of the Constitution will be turning over in their graves. And if any of them made it to heaven, they're probably looking down in absolute disgust and disbelief that the government is trying to intrude on us this much. It's so interesting that here in Telluride and out the other stuff, people were telling me before the election that George Bush was just violating the Constitution left and right. Well, what do you think Obama's doing? That's a very big intrusion. It's like the fact that he wants in the cap and trade bill, there's a provision in there that makes it where I guess the state can come into your home to examine it if you're going to sell it, to make sure it's green enough. If it's not green enough, then you've got to come up with the money to make it green enough to whatever standard they decide they set before you can sell it. That's just more cost added to people, and now the government's coming into your home without a warrant. Of course, they say, well, that's only for all the new homes that would be built after the bill passes. But, of course, they can change that very easily and to make it where all homes. You see, they'll say one thing, but then do another. So, I can sit here all day long and show you one violation after the next of what Obama's doing. And he's just really mutilating our Constitution. And I think this is going to lead to an underground banking system where communities are going to come together and do their own banking, and the only time they cash a check will be maybe at a check cashing place, or people just cash their checks, wherever their whatever bank it is that the check comes from, where they can cash it free and not have to put any money in or pay anything. Of course, then the Obama administration might try to clamp down on that, but the underground banking system is something to remember because it's coming. This kind of intrusion is unbelievable, and already today, some people are taking the money out of the bank accounts, even though they don't need to do that now because of this fear. The government is getting bigger, and it's getting meaner, and it's getting colder. And as we've seen, this is a very, very radical bunch of people who have hijacked our country and fooled a lot of people into believing that they were looking out for our best interests when it was nothing more than a power grab. Unfortunately, McCain wasn't a whole lot better. He wasn't much of an alternative. And I kind of blame him for some of this because of the fact that he should have never been running in the first place. There were a lot better qualified people. You know, McCain's chance to be president ended in 2000 when he lost to Bush. And that's where he should have ended it. Huckabee would have been a lot better than this guy. And I don't know. We're losing our rights left and right. We're just losing it. So, but anyway, I hopefully if they can take this to court. The healthcare bill, if it passes, is going to be taken to court anyway. And hopefully, an injunction can be asked for from a federal judge, and eventually make it to the Supreme Court, which will take several years, possibly. But that provision that gives the right of the government to find out what's in your bank account and to know how much you make and how much you put in there when you take it out, hopefully will be ruled unconstitutional by the government. Yeah, there are banks know how much money we have and stuff like that, but we're talking about the government. I see people all around here say, well, the government already knows. No, the government doesn't know. The bank knows. Maybe the credit card companies might know. But the government doesn't know. There's a big difference. You say, there's a huge difference there. And this is getting to be extremely intrusive and extremely dangerous, where Big Brother is just encroaching. And then you find the supporters of this big government who were just less than a year ago screaming and yelling about Bush being a war criminal and violating the Constitution, are now condoning our Constitution being violated because their guys in the White House, they don't care. It's kind of like the Code Pink claiming that Bush is a war criminal because he's killing civilians in all these airstrikes in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Pakistan. Well, good golly, over 100 civilians have died so far under the Obama administration in these strikes. But all of a sudden, everybody it gets real quiet about that. Nobody seems to care anymore. I guess it's if a Democrat commits war crimes or what was considered war crimes before, it's not war crimes. But if a Republican does it, it's war crimes. Meaning that if Bush orders these strikes and civilians are dying, that's a war crime or change. But if Obama does it and Biden does it, it's not a war crime. It's not even a crime. Which is it? It's all politics. It's all politics, and that's all it is. They just come up with anything they come up with to back the other side. But then again, so do the Republicans. Nonetheless, just remember that the coming of the underground banking system is something in the future, and it may not be too far off. Thank you for your time.